There's this belief that keeps floating around every bike night in every online forum, that a stretched custom rear fender is somehow harder to build than a plain steel one, so naturally it runs $1,000. Nope, dead wrong, and I'm about to show you exactly why. Here's the dirty little secret. A lot of these premium fenders come out of the exact same fiberglass molds as the cheap ones. Same tooling, same layup, different sticker, and by the time we're done, I'll show you one brand charging over $1,000 that a rider could beat for pennies on the dollar. And I'm not just guessing here. This comes straight out of HDForums and Jockey Journal build threads, RevZilla long-term tester notes, and interviews custom shops gave CYCLE Source magazine. The folks who actually bolt these fenders on for a living. They see what's hiding under the paint. So we're splitting this into two halves. First, 5 fender brands quietly robbing you blind, then 5 that are genuinely worth every dollar you hand over. We'll start with the overpriced list, counting down to the worst offender. Number 5 on the ripoff list, Russ Wernimont Designs, or RWD, and their stretched rear fender kit for Harley touring bikes. You're looking at roughly $550 to $700 for a fiberglass fender sold as a premium fit piece. Here's the problem. Several custom bagger builders say RWD shares fiberglass tooling and mold sources with cheaper generic suppliers. So the fit and finish doesn't actually scale with the price. You pay premium money, you get mid-tier fiberglass. And that's not even the sneakiest part of that price tag. Because that sticker price, it tells you nothing about the paint prep. Raw gel coat needs blocking, priming, and color matching before it ever touches your bike, which is exactly the trap the brand at number 4 springs on you, only worse. Real quick, if this is already saving you from a bad buy, do me a favor and tap that like button. It genuinely helps the channel reach other riders who are about to overpay. That's it, back to the countdown. Number 4, CYCLE Visions and their Fat Katz stretched rear fender. This one lands around $500 to $650, and it's priced above nearly identical stretched fiberglass fenders from RWD and independent fiberglass shops. And here's the kicker buyers keep reporting. To get it looking right, you need another $200 to $400 in extra bodywork and paint prep. The price never reflects that. So the fender that felt like a bargain quietly becomes a $900 project. That hidden cost game is common in fiberglass. But the next brand pulls something bolder. It takes an ordinary Harley shape, stamps a legend's name on the box, and charges you triple digits for the ink. Number 3, Arlen Ness and the Ness rear fender for Softails, around $500 to $550. Now, Arlen Ness was a genuine legend of custom building, no argument there. But he passed away in 2019, and the name alone still carries a heavy premium. Because 4AM guys on HDForums and Jockey Journal did the side-by-sides. Same shape, same gauge steel as drag specialties or V-twin parts going for $130 to $150. So the Arlen Ness rear fender at $380 is a $150 fender wearing a famous name. And the next one costs even more for the same trick. Number 2, PAUL Yaffe Originals and the No Limit Stretch Bagger Rear Fender Kit. This one runs about $650 to $850. Bagger Nation's built a serious reputation, and the styling is genuinely sharp. I'll give them that. But custom shops interviewed by CYCLE Source magazine were blunt about it. The labor to mount and finish a no-limit fender is identical to a cheaper stretched fender from a small fabricator. That extra several $100s is pure brand equity. Nothing structural, nothing engineered. And even so, it's still not the worst value on this list. Which brings us to the number 1 offender. Remember the fender I said costs more than some riders pay for an entire used bike's bodywork? Here it is. And once you hear what you're actually paying for, you'll never look at a boutique badge the same way again. Number 1, Rick's Motorcycles and their touring fiberglass rear fender kit. Brace yourself, this runs around $900 to $1,200. For a fender, it's a German import, so you're paying heavy shipping, tariff markup, and a boutique Euro custom name premium on top. And here's the honest truth. The actual fiberglass layup and fitment tolerances are right in line with US-made kits selling for half the price. The Rick's Motorcycles touring fender at $1,200 gives you the same engineering as a $600 American kit, plus a badge and some import shipping. That's the whole difference. So those are the feet to walk right past: Rick's Motorcycles, Paul Yaffe, Arlen Ness, Fat Katz, and RWD. But knowing what to avoid is only half the fight. Now let's talk about where your money actually earns its keep. Quick heads up before we do. There's one buyer mistake I see wreck more of these purchases than any price tag: getting the fitment wrong. A fender built for a street glide is not the same as one for a road glide or an ultra. The mounting points and fender wells differ. Check yours. Number 5 on the worth it list, Acerbis and their Rally Pro front fender for off-road and adventure bikes. This one's around $40 to $60. Yeah, $40. And it's a rare case where the cheapest option is also the pro-tested one. This is impact-resistant polymer that gets used and abused in actual Dakar-style rally builds in enduro competition. Off-road racers treat Acerbis as the benchmark for durability. So while it's not a Harley cruiser part, if you ride anything in the dirt, it's a no-brainer. And the next pick is the budget king of restorations. Number 4, V Twin Manufacturing and their replacement front fender in the FL Softail style. Around $70 to $110. This is a budget reproduction fender with surprisingly accurate fitment for restoration work and daily rider builds. Reviewers on J&P Cycles and Amazon keep noting the same thing. It needs minimal massaging to bolt up clean. For a restorer on a budget, that's huge value. You're getting 80% of an OEM fender for a small fraction of the boutique money. But if you want zero drama, the next one's your pick. Number 3, Biker's Choice in their rear fender for the Dyna platform. Around $90 to $140. Independent Harley shops praise this one for consistent fitment accuracy at a fraction of custom brand pricing. The beauty of it is what it isn't. No fiberglass headaches, no gel coat prep, no brand tax. It's a straightforward steel replacement that goes on and gets forgotten in the best way. The Biker's Choice Dyna rear fender at around $120 is the no-nonsense fix most riders should start with. And the next one is the OEM man's favorite. Number 2, DRAG Specialties and their OEM-style replacement rear fender for touring and FLH bikes. Around $120 to $180. This is a direct bolt-on steel fender matching the OEM Harley fitment and bolt pattern almost exactly. Independent mechanics on RevZilla's Q&A and HD forums build threads recommend this one over and over as a no-drama replacement. The DRAG Specialties touring rear fender at around $150 gives you genuine OEM fitment at roughly a third of the price of the boutique brands. Remember, Rick's wanted $1,200 for the same idea, and the number 1 pick actually earns its premium. And the number 1 fender that's actually worth your money, Klock Werks and their Flare fender kit for touring and softail applications. This one runs around $350 to $450. Yeah, that's more than a generic reproduction. But this is the rare case where the premium's backed by real data. Here's what sets them apart. Klock Werks built and runs its own wind tunnel in Mitchell, South Dakota to validate airflow and fitment at real highway speeds. That's the same R&D approach that led Harley-Davidson to license Klock Werks windshield designs for factory parts. Most competitors just guess and slap on a logo. These folks measured. So when you pay the Klock Werks premium, you're paying for tested aerodynamics and validated fitment, not just cachet. That's the difference between a brand tax and a brand worth the tax. And it's the perfect note to land the whole verdict on. So here's the verdict. If you just need a solid replacement, DRAG Specialties or Biker's Choice gives you OEM fitment for around $120 to $180 with zero fiberglass drama. Restoring on a budget, V Twin Manufacturing. Riding dirt, Acerbis at $40 is unbeatable. All right, so you've seen who's robbing you and who's actually worth your money. But knowing the names is only half the fight. The other half is picking the right one for your exact bike. And that starts with one spec most riders totally ignore. The first spec that actually matters is your exact model, not just the platform. Get this wrong and nothing lines up. Second spec, the material. Steel bolts on and takes paint easy, which is why DRAG Specialties and Biker's Choice are so painless. Fiberglass gives you that stretched, custom shape, but demands gel coat prep. Polymer, like the Acerbis, shrugs off crashes. Match the material to how you ride. Third, Tire clearance. And this one bites people who upgrade later. Measure the width of your rear tire before you buy. A fender that clears a stock 150 may rub hard once you jump to a 180. Knowing this saves a whole reorder. Now the mistakes, because these are the ones that empty wallets. Mistake number 1, buying a fender based on how it looks in a photo without checking the fitment for your specific model. That gorgeous stretched bagger fender is useless if the mounts don't hit your frame. Mistake number 2, forgetting the paint budget on fiberglass. Guys see a stretched fender for $600 and call it done. Then the gel coat prep, primer, and paint runs $200 to $400 more. Suddenly, your $600 fender is a $1,000 project. Mistake number 3, paying for a brand name when the mold underneath is shared. You're not buying better glass, you're buying a nicer box and a famous signature. All right, before you drop a dime on any of these, let's talk about how to actually pick the right fender for your bike. And the first spec that matters more than anything is fitment specificity. Buy the wrong one and you're drilling new holes or fighting a gap that never looks right. Always match your exact year and model, not just the family name on the box. Second spec, material and finish state. Steel fenders usually ship primed or ready for paint. Fiberglass ships in raw gel coat that almost always needs blocking and prep. Know which one you're buying because that single detail decides whether your project is a weekend or a month. Now the buyer mistakes, because these are the ones burning real money. Mistake number 1, and I mentioned it early, is assuming any touring fender bolts right up. People buy for the platform, not the model, and end up returning in parts or living with an ugly fitment gap forever. Mistake number 2 is the big one on fiberglass. Buyers see a stretch fender that looks flawless online and never budget the gel coat prep, primer, and paint labor. That's $200 to $400 in bodywork the sticker price conveniently forgot to mention. Mistake number 3 is paying for a name and thinking you bought better engineering. The logo is the only upgrade you actually paid for. Let's run the actual cost of ownership over 3 years, because the sticker is never the whole story. Say you go boutique fiberglass at $700, add $300 for paint prep and paint. You're already at $1,000 before the fender ever touches your frame. Now the value path. A DRAG Specialties steel fender at $150, shipped primed, plus $150 in paint if you want custom color. $300 total, and it bolts to OEM points with no drama. Over 3 years, that's $700 you kept in your pocket. And resale barely moves the needle. When you sell the bike, nobody pays you back for the Rix or Yaffe name on the fender. Buyers see a clean fender, not a receipt. So that badge tax is money you spend once and never see again. Let's kill a few marketing myths. Myth 1, a European import fender is automatically higher quality. Not true. Rix runs over $1,000 and the fiberglass layup and fitment tolerances are right in line with US-made kits selling for half. You're paying shipping, tariffs, and cachet. Myth 2, cheap means fragile. Tell that to the Acerbis Rally Pro at $40 to $60, getting slammed in Dakar-style rally and enduro racing. It's impact-resistant polymer that pros abuse on purpose. Sometimes the cheapest option is literally the protested one. Myth 3, a premium price always means real engineering behind it. Usually it's just branding, data, not decals. So who buys which? If you're a daily rider replacing a dinged OEM fender, DRAG Specialties or Biker's Choice $90 to $180, bolts on and done. Off-road or adventure, Acerbis every time. And if you want a custom flared look that's actually engineered, Klock Werks at $350 to $450 earns its premium in the wind tunnel. What you skip is the badge tax. Rix Motorcycles, PAUL YAFFE, and Arlen Ness are charging you hundreds for names, not better fenders. One last thing before you go shopping. Whatever you buy, check your tire clearance if you're running a wider rear tire. A fender that's fine on a stock 150 may rub hard on a 180 or 200 swap. That mistake costs paint and tempers.